Hi, Chris.
Two seconds. Camera's free. Luke, do you want to start us off and go to Mark after that?
I'm going to ask you about Semenyo in a bit, but what is your summing up of that game? It does look like you left yourselves a bit of a mountain to climb in the second leg.
Yeah, it does. I think we have. I thought it was a tough defeat on us tonight because I thought the lads really did give everything today, and I thought we had the chances to make that scoreline very different if we could have got that first goal. I thought there were chances, there were moments. I thought we defended pretty well for the majority of the game. Really disappointed to lose 2-0. I think 1-0. Obviously, very different feel about it, and we needed to defend better in that last moment of the game.
Are you bitter about the fact that Semenyo is allowed to play after playing performer in an earlier round, particularly given what happened to you in 2023?
No, I don't think bitter is the right word. I think that the rules are the rules, that they're there. I think I don't think I can focus on that too much. Probably like to focus more on the fact we had 10 men when they scored their first goal, because I just don't get that rule. JJ's gone down with a head injury after getting elbowed in the head, and we get punished. We get punished for that. I don't see that that's right.
What about the offside goal there? One Pep's just gone on quite a long rant, claiming that they were unfairly treated here in the 2-1 defeat. What's your view of it?
I've got no view of it really. I've not seen it again, so I can't give you an opinion.
Okay, to Mark, please.
Eddie, T played a part at the end, played it wrong.
No, I don't think necessarily just at the end. I think fatigue played a part, I think, just generally for us today. I thought we looked a little bit fatigued, but that's understandable with the exertions and the efforts that we gave on Saturday. And it's such a quick turnaround against the worst team that you can play to expose any fatigue, because they keep the ball so well. That's where I have to compliment the lads, because I thought they did give everything. We tried our best to rouse ourselves to the levels that we wanted to be at, and I thought it was a decent enough performance without being great.
We see Tino's, looks like it's going to be a long spell on this side as Jacob Burton's been injured. I thought, is it now the emphasis on January, maybe bringing somebody in? I know you talked about it a bit on Monday.
Yeah, we don't think Jacob's injury is serious, but of course we're waiting to see the full extent. He's had a hamstring problem for a couple of weeks. He's had 2 scans that come back clear, so we're not quite sure what's going on with him. Tino's information, we only got sort of confirmation this morning, so we need to digest that and then see what we do.
And me either? Sorry. What are you saying? Sorry, Leighton.
Eddie, 2-0 disappointment, but I guess you still live to fight another day this tie. You've got it hard now, and did you build the confidence back over you?
Yeah, I think we're still alive. We're still in there fighting. It's very difficult to turn it round, but it's still possible, and football can conjure up some magical moments. Last year we were on the other side of the scoreline. We went to Arsenal and won 2-0, and that game we felt was still very much alive. It was all about the next goal in the tie, really, and I think that's going to be the case in this one. If we can get the next goal, we're still very much in it. And I think we saw enough today to say that we can be competitive, and we didn't feel we're at our absolute best physically. But I still think we caused them problems, so we're going to have to go with that same mindset again.
Thank you. What's Anisha, George, and then Front Rocks?
I think one of the positives today was Lewis Hall's performance, the previous marked episode. I guess, how do you assess him and how he's grown this season?
Yeah, we're delighted he's back fit. He's such an important player. He brings a real attacking drive from the left-back position. Real technically excellent player. And I think he's improving all the time. So we're pleased he's back with us. We need to try and keep him fit if we can. He's got a sort of a big responsibility to try and play as many games as he can and help the team, which I know he will do. But yeah, he's got a huge future ahead of him.
And after 2 really hard-fought wins before the state, how do you stop the wind coming out of the sails, to pick up kind of where you left off?
Well, I think we just have to look at this in isolation. I think it's a disappointing defeat, but I don't think it's a majorly disappointing performance. I don't think it should dent our confidence in any way. In fact, in some senses, I think it should enhance it. We're close to doing really well against the best teams in the division. But we have to refocus now. A really difficult game against Wolves, where if we go with any fatigue or without the right mindset, these are difficult games, as we've found before this season. So I think Wolves will get our full respect, and we'll have a plan to go there and try and win.
George?
One of the kind of themes of the last couple of years is going to places and getting results. When Newcastle don't get results, Old Trafford and the Emirates, of course, Wembley was the big one. Does this feel like the biggest challenge of the lot, bearing in mind City's form at home and also Newcastle's disappointing?
Yeah, I think that's a great assessment. I think it is probably our biggest challenge, our biggest test of everything, really, in our belief levels, our ability to score goals and defend. We're going to have to defend well in that game, otherwise we've got no chance. So I think that's for another day. I think the beauty of the two-legged, sort of the distance between the two legs, means that you can just put it away and forget about it. And we've got so many big games to come before the second leg. Who knows what sort of mental state both teams will be in by the time that game comes around. I think we're still in the game if we can get the next goal.
Yeah, I mean, to twist it around, having done it before, you can do it again.
Yeah, as I said, I think the belief by the time the game comes around has to be there. And what better place to do it? You know, we haven't got a good record there. I haven't got a good record there. But those records have to be broken. So I think that's the mindset.
Thank you, Fernando. Eddie, not talking about the incident, but as a man who's given your life to football, being around it, where do you stand on 5 minutes, 30 seconds for an offside decision?
Yeah, I think it's too long, especially on a cold night, for not just for the players, but for the supporters of both clubs. So I don't know why that took so long. I've got no idea, but for me it's too long. But the right decision hopefully reached, then okay, but can we speed that up?
I'll take a few more. We'll start with Damien, go to Scott, we'll finish with Daniel, please.
Eddie, was a game like tonight just show how fine the margins are at this level, and how do you turn those margins your way in the return?
Yeah, I mean it does, because Johan has that early chance in the game which probably changes the whole mood and atmosphere of the stadium in that moment. There were several half chances for us in that first half. I thought Jacob Murphy was a real threat on the right hand side, and we were giving them issues and problems down that side of the pitch. And then of course James Trafford makes a great save from Johan again, and then Bruno hits the post. So I think that's any game of football, though, that the swings of the game are so delicately poised all the time. I think our challenge is to try and stay on the right side of them. I thought we were a danger and a threat from set plays today, but we didn't quite get the goal that, I think some of the deliveries in the box deserved.
Scott?
Eddie, you said there we need to look after Lewis, and yet the reality is you've got the 4 defenders who played tonight and probably Kieran. So Lewis is kind of going out every game. Malik and Sven are kind of having to go out every game. How tough is that for you, knowing that that their players have played an awful lot of football? At least 2 of them have had injury problems already this season, and you're having to call on them again and again and again.
Yeah, it's not the situation we want to be in. I think we've tried to rotate healthily this season in terms of dipping players in and out to keep them fresh and available, to keep them in their best form, to be able to perform. Like today, we just felt we had no choice but not to play Harvey, Sandro, Nick, because they'd played 120 minutes 2 days ago, and just the physical demands on that are so extreme that the likelihood is, if we had have done, I think there's a much higher chance that they could get injured, and we can't afford to lose anybody else. So defensively, we're really stretched. We're sort of pinning our hopes on Dan being back pretty soon, Dan Burn. That would give us a massive lift, and of course the transfer market's still available to us.
Thank you. Last one, Daniel, please.
Danny's been mentioned already that there's a bit of a mountain to climb in the second leg, but also that records are there to be broken. So how will you frame it to the players when it comes to that moment?
Give me a chance to think first. I've got a little bit of time to get my head around it. I think that's for another day. Now my brain's already gone to Wolves and making sure we go there in the right frame of mind, in the best physical condition to try and keep our good Premier League form going.
And we mentioned our fatigue as well. Is it as much mental fatigue asking the players to go again as much as it is physical?
No, I thought today was physical. 120 minutes, a lot of minutes for some of the other players against, as I said, the worst exponents of any fatigue, because no matter how we set up today, there was going to be spells where we didn't have the ball. So I thought the players dealt with it really well, especially in that first half. I thought we were well in the game. I thought we defended pretty well today as well, and we conceded 2 goals. But they didn't have an abundance of chances. So I'll look back at that, I'm sure, with mixed thoughts on how we played.
Thanks, everyone. Safe travels. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.